that's nice. I know it's not nice, but it's nice because Mara ingat, ne? We are reading. Okay, we read The Vanishing Half. This one in a little price. So this book was nice. I didn't finish it, but the point where I ended, the book was very nice and it was getting even nicer. I liked the characters. In the beginning, when the twins were together, it was nice. It was that twin thing. We are together in this. And then when they separated, I sort of felt like really sad for both of them because you're growing up with this person and then you escape. Because in the beginning, I think Desiree was the one who wanted to escape. And this one, she was just following. Then all of a sudden, she's the one that masters this disappearing. And then, so I felt like I really felt sorry for Desiree, who started this thing, but the one who ultimately won was Stella. Because she started a new life, she became white, she disappeared, no one knew where she was, and life went well for her. But I was also proud when she went back to school. Really liked that part. But did she finish her PhD? Did she get to that point? You don't know. I'm asking. You can answer. Don't worry.
Oh, I'm not sure. Did she finish?
Because she wanted to get to the PhD level.
She didn't get to the PhD level.
Discouraged her, remember?
Yes.
Oh, but the book
But
didn't.
she did get a qualification.
And then after?
She was a lecturer again.
Hey.
She became a lecturer.
Yes.
You are having a fire.
And then the aim was to be a professor. Because she became a lecturer, and then that friend of hers, she encouraged her to do a PhD so that she can be a professor. Okay. So yeah, anyway, so what I didn't like about the book is I didn't like the portrayal of Jude's character. I feel like there should have been more with her, especially this thing of, yes, you come from this place as a dark person, yes, we know. That place, King Malad, they don't like you, you're too dark, whatever. But when you get to a place where there's people like you, then I want them to say, okay, she's beautiful, more, because yes, the boyfriend said she was beautiful. But maybe other people, so that we know, okay, she's not dark and ugly, but she's just dark. And it doesn't mean that she was ugly, So I just didn't like how she was portrayed. Like she was portrayed like, I feel like she was a Caster Semenya type of vibe. A Caster Semenya. Yes, because they said she had an athletic body. Yes, she was dark, but they didn't describe the face. Like I can't imagine her face. And then the cousin. You can imagine the cousin. Blue eyes, she's pretty, she's blonde. She's small. We know how she is. But with Jude, I don't think they gave justice to her look. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I just didn't like that part, Jude. But also, I also didn't like did she go to medical school? Did she finally go to medical? She did? Okay, I'm fine with that. Because I was like, she's working so hard. Can she just get her breakthrough? What I also didn't like was I can't remember, but I like most parts of the book, honestly. I love the characters. I like Stella. But the better twin for me was Desiree.
Yeah.
I like Desiree more. Very strong character, you know. For someone who, you know, when you leave home and when you come back, as a waitress, and you were someone who was praised, and, you know, her being a strong character like that, I really like that about her. But I also like that Stella Lene, she was on top of the game, and she maintained that life, and she was a rich bitch. You know, like she was a madam. Then the men, I liked Early. Early was my favorite. Early was my favorite. And I like the going and coming back.
Oh my god, that's an idea.
Yes, that's good. You go, I have my space, you come back, we reconnect. It's always nice. Yeah, I love that. I love their relationship. I love that. I like the style of writing. It was easy to read. It was creative. I just didn't like the Jude patching.
How caramel Early was. And that's the thing about it. It's like you only know that he was caramel. But there's no description that says he has a sharp nose or a set nose, full lips and dark brown eyes. They seem to go into that detail when it comes to describing Abelu. And the freckles and the red sand blonde hair.
Yes.
But then this book is created for a black audience, so you're busy describing a bunch of white people with white people features and white people hair colors. We don't even know.
Yes.
That's my thing.
She didn't do justice to the black
So I feel like the black characters deserved a bit more from her. You know, even describing her having braids would have been something.
Yes.
Describing her exploring her blackness now that she's in California, because she was in California in the 1970s, which means that not only was there a lot of social change and more activism, more pronounced activism, more people living in an open-minded way. Yeah, I don't know, some aspects of the book were, but okay, now giving my I mean, I could not today.
It's a good thing.
Today, okay, I liked the book. I enjoyed the book. It was nice. Actually nice. I can find myself getting lost in it and actually reading. And I am going through a reading slump, so that means she's doing a good job again. But yeah, I enjoyed the book. I like the characters. I like, obviously, I like Stella. I feel like Desiree was just not putting her back into this better life. She was too much for infantile. She was not focused in terms of where she wanted to land up, where she wanted her life to be. That's how she was swept up by Sam.
Yeah.
Whereas even if Stella was unclear, but she had her desires, to me felt like they were more concrete. They were more touchable. She could imagine herself as this rich madame in a beautiful house, whereas Desiree was more like, I just want to get away and I want to keep Stella with me and I just want to do that. And I like Bobby. He's not a big character in the book, but I really like him. I like how nice he is. And I don't want a man who doesn't want to stay really got me. And Mama, Adele, I wish a lot. Hopefully, as the book carries on, more is said about her as a person, especially after losing her husband the way she lost him. Because not a lot is said about her personality, more about how she responds to Earl and her granddaughter. What I didn't like about the book was I am so tired of books written about black women when we split up from our husbands, we all have to be abused. Can't we just split up from our husbands because he was in debt or he died
changed.
and left us?
We stop loving each other.
Our stories have to be so severely tragic. I felt like, and I think that's another thing that kind of dissuaded me a bit from the book was, it's so tragic. Like, he had to be abusive and the daughter to see it in order for her to go back home. Why couldn't it be something they always do for white characters? He had a gambling dad and he was killed by the people he was gambling with, so I had no money, I had to go back home. That's also a legitimate story. Why does it have to be so deeply traumatic? And yeah, apart from that, I literally like it. I do. I like the lesser characters. I still start Jude no
Jude was my least favorite character.
It's also like
justice, man.
Come on, let's move on quickly. We're not Stella. That's what I thought. I'm good.
The book. Okay, so I enjoyed the book. It was very nice. I loved the storyline. I like the book. It was nice. The only thing I didn't like was the ending. Really, like for such a lovely book, it's a very
Didn't do justice.
ending. Like the ending is just. I mean, she could have done better for me. Like also adding on to what you two were saying that I feel she could have described Jude, and because Jude and Kennedy are the kids of the twins that ran away, like give us more information about Jude. You know, we can't have so much information about Kennedy, but then only know Jude and her relationship with her transgender boyfriend, and like that's all we know about Jude, her relationship with Reese. You know, what is Jude? Who is Jude outside of the relationship with Reese? You know? So that I agree with you guys on. I mean, they could have described her like what is dog? What is your complexion of dog? Like describe dog. Describe like they described Kennedy, like you guys were saying, how they described Kennedy. Kennedy with the blue eyes and the blonde hair, and you know. Yeah, that's I didn't like how even with their mother, Adele, it was only about, it's like a short little summary about her life as a domestic worker and how she struggled after her husband passed away. I think that's about it. You know, we don't know how she felt about the twins running away, because even when Desiree came back home, she didn't speak about it. She didn't say, there was no background story of how life was after the twins ran away, you know. So it was that, even with the Alzheimer's, it was like a short little, you know, short part about adults suffering from Alzheimer's, and they, you know, sorry to spoil it for you guys that didn't finish, but then she passes away, you know, and that is just the ending. She passes away, and then it's a little description about a funeral, and that's it. Like really, like honestly, such a good book, and that's the ending. So that, yeah, the ending was rushed, definitely. Like the ending, I remember when I finished it, I was like, was she tired of writing now? You know, it felt like she was tired now of writing. So actually, let me just finish this off. And also, I'm in agreement with what Noni was saying about why does black relationships always have to end so tragically? Like honestly. And you'll never find white relationships that end tragically. And there are also, other races also end their relationships so tragically. But it's always how black people are portrayed. And it's sad because the author's a black lady. So, you know, it just, for me, it's like the conditioning is so deep. You know? Yeah. But anyway, we are not there. But overall, I love the book. I love how the stories of Stella and Desiree, and how Stella eventually not really spoke, but the author spoke about some of her traumatic experiences that she didn't speak to anybody about. So obviously when you first read it, it's Desiree's idea to run away. You know, Desiree is the one that is excited to run away. But once Stella gets a taste of freedom, and when she thinks of going back, and she thinks of all the traumas that she went through, that's what pushed her to stay in this lie of a life. Though I don't agree with how she did it, I just don't think you can just cut off your family like that, but oh well, to each their own. But yeah, overall I enjoyed the book. I really loved it. The only thing I didn't like was the ending. Yeah, that's it. Another thing that I didn't like also is how you guys are black, right? It's a black community.
Okay, thank you.
But you're still racist towards your own people.
Yes.
It happens
Like
in
if
South
you're
Africa.
dark, if you know the darker your skin tone, we're just going to shove you aside and push you aside. And you see it with how adult treats Jude. You know, I mean that's your grandchild, but still, like you still treat her like you're not white. Till your husband was killed because he was black by white people, but you hate other black people. Like to me, it just makes no sense.
Me, I can fully understand. Because that's where colorism comes from. That's where we come, where pretty privilege, tribalism comes from. And pretty privilege. Remember, the standard of beauty is to be white. The closer you are to whiteness, the better you are treated, and there's more privilege towards you. And when you're a woman, you're associated with being beautiful. Sam Desiree wanted her because she was as close to whiteness as you can get. And since he couldn't get a white woman, he got the next best thing. So it makes sense why they would treat black people, darker skinned black people, differently. Because it's something that happens to this day. I mean, the difference between us and colors, there is no difference. But how she didn't focus too much on the recent sexuality. It never became a central thing that was deeply discussed in detail, and it almost as if it just was what it was, and they carried on from there. There was never this from up until their high start. There was never this thing where they wanted to explore her as being a woman and then listening to a man. It was just that he wore his father's clothes, had a thing with that girl, and ran away to become.
This book really is a runaway book.
Huh? They're all just running.
Yeah.
I'm saying they're all just running, but also, yeah, Reese is an extra character. We don't want to know much about Reese. Like, it's for me, it's just like an extra, you know, adding to the characters. Yeah, I liked him too. But...
Yeah, I like